Welcome back to the LA Takeover Bomba Live. Thank you so much for joining us. There's your host, Ray Collazo. Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for your entire life. The only thing, what's better than Bomba Live in sunny Los Angeles, California? And of course, we couldn't be in LA without one of the great supporters of Bomba Live and one of our West Coast correspondents, Karina Martinez. Karina, welcome back. Karina,
thanks for having me here.
I know this has been long anticipated. How has been your experience here on Bomba Live LA?
Literally, I've been waiting for this my whole life. Just like you said, it's not a tagline, it's reality.
It is reality. There's no question about it. And of course, Argo here in the 1 and 2s. I want to thank our producer Chris Leon in the background and our swelled up audio producer Lex in effect. Karina, we wanted to spend this segment getting to know a little bit about you, and it's so interesting because you were so nice to send all these background materials. Most of my guests and co-hosts don't send me anything, and I barely get Instagram handles from them. But you sent me all this wonderful information, so I just wanted to. There was a couple of things that were notable that I wanted to start with you. So the first one, which may be controversial to some people, but I just want to put it on the table. You listed yourself as an ex-Bad Bunny fanatic. So as a Puerto Rican, I'm getting a little nervous. Let me start with this because I don't want to get triggered. Let's start this way. Talk about your experience when you were a fan of Bad Bunny. Let's start from there. How did you get into the Bad Bunny experience initially?
All right, guys, just keep an open mind here. I take into consideration that I am a geriatric millennial.
Yes.
So I'm aging up there, I think that has a lot to do with this. But when Bad Bunny first came out, he was making hits. He was putting in the work to make some awesome beats. And I feel like he had some stories to his song, or, he was trying to bring in some collabs that were pretty awesome, like J-Lo, come on. Who doesn't love J-Lo? But the stuff was novel, it was good, and he was working at it. And I feel like that just dropped off. He got his fame, and then he starts putting out albums with what? A, B, C, D, E, F, J, whatever that album title was that, nobody could pronounce. All of the, the songs now, the beats, Tati me pregunta, Tati, Tati, Tati.
Titi,
whatever,
That's a Caribbean thing, but like I say, Nissim, Titi. There you go.
Like, how many novias I have? That's the whole song. That one sentence
so let's
is the
talk
whole
about that
song.
Let's talk about that song. Okay, so we'll get there. So, first of all, the genius of that song is every rapper on some level has the I get all the girls songs. That's kind of like a standard thing you need as a hip hop artist at some point in your life. So I think the genius of the song.
School me.
The genius of the song is he centers, because 2/3 of the song is I get all the girls. I got this one in Texas. I got this one in Spain, whatever. I got this one thinks I'm well endowed, what have you. Jay-Z had that song back 20 years ago with girls. But that he centers it not only around a woman that is Titi, his aunt, but he also centers it as an intergenerational thing, like as the aunt. So a lot of people can relate to it because they had an aunt like that. I certainly can. And then there's aunts and women that can relate to being that aunt, and that whole dynamic where I'm the girl, why doesn't she ask me about my life? And that's anything. So I feel like it was an interesting twist on an old rapper guy premise.
Yeah, I feel like that deserved to be a TikTok.
And not a whole song.
Not a whole song. Yeah, it doesn't need to be on the airwaves 24/7. It deserved, 15 seconds on a TikTok, go viral for have your 10 minutes of fame, and we're done with that.
So it's funny that we're having this conversation days after he sold out SoFi for 2 days. It was Bad Bunny Day here, October 1st in LA, literally. And Bad Bunny is kind of ubiquitous at this point. This is Michael Jackson, Prince level fame here, and sort of historic for Spanish prominent language artist. So how is it being sort of an ex-Bad Bunny fan when he's like, you can't get away from him?
Well, listen, I'm actually really proud of the level of accomplishments that he has, the achievements that he's had, the fact that he hasn't had to speak English to get to this, that he's reached out to not only our community, but surpassed those boundaries. So I am proud of the guy, I'm no longer a fan of his music.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it's being produced, like mass produced, just, one after the other without real.
So, Karina, you were like into the
investment.
trap stuff. I mean, you were like into the real stuff back in the days.
I do. The old reggaeton is a little bit more of my thing. I mean,
Who would have
I'm a
known
huge-
Karina was from the guy? I like this. Who was an artist that you liked back in the day?
Well, okay, I have to be honest with you. I'm a mixed bag, but my favorite genre really is Spanish pop.
Okay.
Like the poppier it gets, the better for me. And
Okay.
it's cheesy, and I like cheesy, but I like cheesy with work put into it.
I don't even know about the cheesy pop thing because I remember when I was a kid, like, and a young adult, like there was a lot of that in the like Gloria Trevi, who I don't understand, like. Isn't she
another
like
bag.
70 years old or something?
Yeah.
Like, but like Thalia, like there was all these like cheesy Mexican pop divas
100%.
back in the day. So you were into all that stuff?
I was into that, but also, you know what? I grew up on Shakira too, and
claro,
Shakira, she's a genius in
She
in
is.
many sorts of ways. I mean, this woman, she plays instruments, she's athletic, she's poetic. She's got the beauty contest thing going on. She's really unparalleled, and I don't feel like she gets the credit that she deserves.
But some people, hold on. So some people would argue that when she got into the American market, she sort of did the same thing. She got poppier and less substantive because her early Latin pop, Latin rock stuff, which she produced, she wrote, she played instruments, she saw in the Super Bowl, was insane. I always tell my American friends, like, you have no idea how deep her music was back in the days. So you don't feel like it seems like you're kind of giving her a pass on that phase of her career.
No. Even though it got less deep, I mean, this woman was as deep as it gets. Like I said, it
Hips
did
don't
get
lie?
less. It did get less deep. Yes, she went blonde, and then blondified a few of her things, but it didn't. It still didn't reach rock bottom like Bad Bunny.
This is
Sorry.
This is mind blowing. Do you feel like her? Not that it matters with the art, but I guess she's had a rough 6 months. Piqué left her.
Yeah.
For a young girl, and she's had some tax issues in Spain. I don't know if you keep it up with that.
And
But
then J-Lo came out against her, did a little swings and punches here and there.
Yeah, in the documentary.
Trying to claim,
for sure. So does this almost endear you to Shakira more, like a woman that's kind of going through it? Because at one point she kind of had the perfect life, quote unquote.
No, I mean, I don't feel like that changes my perspective on her. I mean, I think that she's been getting a lot of unfair situations thrown at her, but nothing can, whether she's living it well or going through what she's going through right now, it just doesn't change. It just doesn't change the level of talent that she has. That's something that just can't be taken away from her.
She's very talented. Give me another artist, whether it's music or another artist that you're following, that people that helps give people an insight on who Karina is.
Artists, oh boy, like I don't know. This is a hard one, Ray. Right now I'm pretty like keeping it cool. I'm trying to like free the brain from being stuck in too many things that are I guess like for the masses. I guess I go a lot of periods without music too, and no TV, no music, just trying to like figure yourself not figure yourself out, but just not have all of these noises literally in your head, so you can stay above the crowd sometimes. I want to be ego there.
And Argo's following your lead by being very very polite here during this conversation. We're talking to Karina Martinez, and when we come back from this quick break, some of the best Bomba Live clips, we're going to bring a couple of our friends back onto the show, talk a little bit more about LA on this very, very special edition of Bomba Live LA.
We can't continue to wait until the right politics or political calculations are there. We can't continue to wait until the next election cycle for us to get a specific political party to be empowered to make change. It cannot take 16 more years of having Deyas and angels to have to cry for not feeling the ability to pay it forward for the sacrifices of our parents. And we were told, wait, and wait. And we decided not to only be the storytellers, but the strategists of our lives.
Benito, this is your real friend, right, Collazo, papi? De verdad, you need to leave this woman alone. Because this family, all they want to do is glam onto all the hard work and all the success that your real fans have supported you in building up for their own purposes. If you look at the track record, Kanye Lamar Odom, Black China, messing with his family don't work well for people. And you've done too much to slip up with someone like this that'll change your whole life. Benito, take it from Euro fans, Papi. Just say no.
I think all of our household tenían algo because my daughter is 14 and she says that when she hears salsa turn on Saturday morning, she knows mommy's cleaning.
Yeah, I think every Puerto Rican's house does that because I used to get calls when I used to be on the radio. I used to get calls. Mijo, estoy bailando y estoy limpiando contigo. I was like, okay.
Welcome back to Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for your entire life. Thank you so much for joining us. This is your host, Ray Collazo, here in my posh Los Angeles studios. I've always wanted to say that my whole life. I was at Wilshire Country Club today, which we will probably get to on an Instagram Live or something. I'm here with my West Coast co-host, and a great friend to the show, Karina Martinez. Karina, I know it's everything you've expected it to be and even more, isn't it?
1,000%. You know, it's the show I've been waiting for my whole life.
There's no question about it. We brought back our homeboys, Elbert, Garcia, and the Cuban Lion, Nissim Leon. Nissim, we got to talk a little bit more about L.A. We're in L.A., but there's L.A., then there's Boyle Heights, dog. Tell people about Boyle Heights.
Boyle Heights is a great
Well, you're the
place.
mayor of Boyle Heights. Everybody know that.
Well, Boyle Heights is a great place. I was really fortunate to have grown up there, and we started a great nonprofit ourselves, Boyle Heights Youth Football, and I think the great thing about that, I haven't been associated with them now in 10 years. It's all ran by former players and people that came up through the program, and we started in '88 with 40 kids, and we have 272 kids now, cheer program, and the program's done really, really good, solid work. So I'm a proud guy from Boyle Heights. If you're in Boyle Heights, there's great places to go. One of the places I tell people all the time, El Tepeyac, Manuel, who passed away, gave me $15,000, him and his daughter Elena, to start my football program when I was 19 years old. Wow. And this guy sponsored everything in Boyle Heights. And, when we talk about philanthropy and people, like this guy never wanted anything back. Can you make the community better? And I was always really, really enamored by that. Like, here's a guy that just wants the best for everyone. And we were talking about, how as Latinos we're giving, de donde comen dos, comen tres, that's always been, like, he embodied that. And so I'm really proud that I had that association. That's a real popular place because they make this huge burrito. Okay. It's the biggest burrito in Los Angeles.
There may be a Bomba Live sighting before this trip is over. No question.
Making me hungry
Karina,
now.
One of the things I've learned from these trips to LA is that I didn't really get a sense of how LA is really like a series of neighborhoods and communities, because LA is so big and we just think of LA as LA and that's it. But like, there's all these areas that have their own character.
Yeah, that's right. So they called LA a sprawl city, which essentially is like you have some neighborhoods built and then you keep building around and around and around. And so, and just, I don't want to get into the details and politics of how these neighborhoods get stratified. But yes, not every neighborhood is the same. Everyone has its super distinct flavor. Oh, you gotta put the sunglasses on?
Well, I mean, I was remiss not to put these on earlier. It's LA. We gotta do it right. Karina gotta trump me, but that's fine. Karina, continue.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so every part of LA, it's kind of like, what are you in the mood for today? And that's where you would go. Assuming that you want to like do something adventurous or, So right now I moved here when I was 17, when I was going to go to UCLA from San Diego. And I basically lived on the west side my whole life because of that. I had to be close to UCLA, and that's the neighborhood that I grew up knowing in LA. But now I just moved to Inglewood. So I live pretty close to the SoFi Stadium, which is brand new, and I'm getting to know Inglewood. And Inglewood has its distinct characteristics as well. So, where are you guys at in LA? Where are you at?
Well, I came in for a conference, great conference. Shout out to the Radical Communicators Network out there. We were in Long Beach, we were in LBC out there. So
shout out to Taller Salud.
Taller Salud came out from Puerto Rico. Yeah,
that was there.
That came out there and really, really blew everyone everyone was really.
And by the way,
impressed
the
and
hub of
appreciated that.
Afro Puerto Rican culture and life on the island
On
as
the
well.
island
I
as
guess
well,
I
right?
would say.
So so this time in LA, we hung out a little bit, over there in terms of Long Beach. It's I was telling Nissim earlier, it's when you go across the bridge and this idea of seeing like the shipping containers. And again, LA, one of the most busiest ports in the world, right? And then seeing that next to the cruise line ships, right? Like, and again, amazing to see. And I think one of the things almost really kind of epitomize in some ways kind of the working class nature, right, of this city, right? Because I think that's also the amazing thing about kind of hanging out a couple of times here, whether I'm talking to an Uber driver, whether asking someone, where to eat. I mean, everyone's really, especially like LA folks, I found to be really great foodie people. Right, like they'll tell you exactly where to go, what
The
neighborhood to
diversity,
go.
man.
Like,
You can find anything anywhere. That's the great thing.
No, I mean, when the guy that gave me a taxi ride from LAX is Armenian. So I said, where can I get good Armenian food? He goes, you really want Armenian food? I said, when I come to the West Coast, that's what I'm looking for, is that diversity. Because, there's some of that we have on the East Coast, but you can't get Mexican food or some of those different nationalities or Asian food like you can out here.
All right. So I suffered when I first moved to Inglewood because you'd think there'd be more taqueros in Inglewood, but honestly, there really weren't around me. So I had to scour the neighborhoods until finally someone set up a new taco shop in front of the McDonald's off the La Tijera exit for anyone who's looking for it. But honestly,
I like these local
best tacos I've ever had. They put up a little una tarpa, and then they just they bring their van out and set up their stuff in front of this McDonald's, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just, I go there way too often. And
What's your favorite type of taco, Karina?
I like a classic. I'm a traditional person, so give me the carne asada.
Ay, Dios,
I
sí.
have to have doble tortilla. If your tacos are not doble tortilla, they're not tacos. Also, if you don't have beans, I don't want them refried. They're also not tacos. And your salsa better be as good or better, sorry, Mom, than my mom's.
That's facts right there. Nissim, como el cubano de Los Angeles, you know about food. Your wife's an incredible chef. You're not too shabby yourself. So, dime que, give me what's the essential for the LA taco, Pop.
So I like a place that's called Angeles Tijuana, and they got a few spots, and they make killer al pastor, really good.
Come on,
and there's always huge lines. Now there's one right by Dodger Stadium on Sunset. It's really good. There's always, like I said, a huge line, and there's really nowhere to eat, so you're just getting it there and just and it's not the best to take it home because especially with al pastor and all that.
Yeah.
It starts to get so you want to
just
just eat it while you're there. But that's a great spot, and they have like 5 of them. That place is really cool. Now, if you want to hit Cuban food here, El Cochinito, by far on Sunset, best Cuban food in Los Angeles.
So when I was growing up, there was my dad is a salsa radio announcer in Philadelphia and salsa historian, promoter, everything. My mental is about mierda, imagínate. So when I was growing up, he would get these magazines from LA, Latin Beat magazine, I think it was.
Yes, I
that were
remember.
chronicle the salsa and Latin jazz scene around the world. And there was always these restaurants, and his dream was always to go to these Cuban places, La Florida, all these places that had like these little salsa bands, and those places still exist, right? They're still
I
doing
think
their thing.
El Florida does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about any of the other ones. There used to be like a place that it was called El Madrid, which was they had Spanish food, so they had paella, stuff like that, but they had served Cuban food, and they would have bands there every so often.
Claro. The shout out to Nolan Arenado, the Cuban Puerto Rican from the LA area. That's one of the great
I
players.
believe he's from Santa Margarita High School.
Absolutely. And so, Karina, for people that want the LA experience, just give us another tip or two if they really want to understand the Karina lifestyle here in LA.
Okay, well, I gotta really tell you guys, I think
a safe space,
I
it's
got a soft spot for Playa Vista, to be honest with you. It's pretty chill. They've got some good food spots over there. You don't have to go through the parking experience or anything like that. And they got a dog park.
Okay.
So, I mean, you hit all of that. And they have like they have a lot of hiking trails too. So, I mean, it's kind of wrapped all into one, and it's only 3 miles away from Inglewood. So I like that. But, I really have to ask a question because I got a certified Boyle Heights person here, and I'm wondering what you thought of if you watched the Hentified program.
I did not, and people kept telling me.
Man.
He was like, I'm gonna play this neutral. I'm gonna play this neutral.
He's been busy. He's been busy.
We're gonna have to delete this section.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank my West Coast Karina Martinez, Kenny, and Argo. It's been such a pleasure. And again, thank you always for your friendship and your collaboration. Elbert, you know how we roll. My compadre. The odds of me and Elbert being in LA the same weekend is just ridiculous.
You know,
and then
the
coupled with the
universe
fact
wants us
both of our
together.
teams are in the playoffs at the same time, and we're about to go do that. It's astronomical. But brother, you know how we roll. You know, we're family for life.
Always.
And speaking for a brother for life, I always wanted Karina. I always wanted a Cuban big brother. I did. I have my Dominican buddies. I checked up all the
He's got
boxes.
him
My
now.
Greek.
Yeah.
Now I got my
Cubano.
Kansas State homie here too. But Nissim has been a great pleasure, and our producer Christopher Leon. We wouldn't have Bomba Live without him, and of course our audio producer who keeps flexing here. He's about to go do some squats and break some more records. Our man Lex, thank you for all of your
Lex.
collaboration
No
here.
doubt.
Bomba Live, follow us, subscribe on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for your whole life. Peace, LA.
Peace.